This is a review of an article analyzing the Humphreys case. This case is always cited when people say President Trump cannot fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell. But the canned answers on television are a waste of your brain power. There is no clear answer, and intelligent people need to do their own thinking and draw reasoned, analytically based opinions. In a thought-provoking analysis, Harold Furchtgott-Roth delves into the landmark Supreme Court case, Humphreys v. United States, 1935, and its implications for the balance of power within the U.S. government. This case remains a cornerstone in understanding the limits of presidential authority over federal officials and the independence of certain government agencies. Many of these arguments underpin our previous blog, where we speculated that the Humphrey case would not hold up under challenge. After all, the Biden administration fired Benioff, Savage, Michael Savage of the Savage Nation, and others from the Presidio board even though they were quasi-independent. We have reviewed numerous criticisms of the Humphrey case, and none is more cogent or well-reasoned than Harold Furchtgott-Roth's. As he states in his article, the Humphrey case put President Franklin Roosevelt under scrutiny. That's right, this issue where the pundits are accusing President Trump of exceeding his power started with a Democrat Party icon, President Roosevelt. In 1933, President Franklin D. Roosevelt sought to remove William Humphrey, a Federal Trade Commission commissioner, before the end of his term. Humphrey, appointed by President Herbert Hoover, resisted, arguing that the FTC Act protected commissioners from arbitrary dismissal. After Humphrey's death, the case continued, leading to a historic Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled that the president could not remove FTC commissioners at will. The decision established that officers in independent agencies like the FTC who perform quasi-legislative or quasi-judicial functions are protected from dismissal except for cause. So a president was stuck with even a complete dope who was doing a terrible job unless somehow the president could find some sort of malfeasance that went beyond just being a poor choice and doing an abysmal job. This marked a significant departure from the earlier Myers v. United States case from 1926. This case had granted the president broad removal powers over executive officers. So again, President Trump did not invent this current battle, and neither did President Roosevelt. The powers in Washington are constantly at battle with each other, and the courts constantly are asked to step in. The court in Myers reasoned that the FTC's role required independence to function effectively, shielding it from direct presidential control. This decision solidified the autonomy of independent agencies, ensuring they could operate without political interference. Harold Furchtgott-Roth's most powerful statement is this, and I quote, "The failure of the Supreme Court in Humphreys is its tacit endorsement of a law that creates an agency that has legislative and judicial powers as well as executive powers. The FTC falls under neither Article 1, nor Article 2, nor Article 3 of the Constitution. It sits distantly outside the Constitution, and the Humphreys Court, while recognizing a separation of power challenge, limits that challenge to whether the president has the power to remove a sitting commissioner. Independent agency is the euphemism attached to such agencies that fall entirely outside the Constitution. They are not merely independent of the executive branch, they are independent of the Constitution. The federal government has many such independent agencies." In other words, he is saying that neither the FTC nor the Federal Reserve is an institution specified in the Constitution. Why then is it given powers to exist or act outside the control of one of our three established branches?
The Horowitz law firm respects the United States Constitution. We recognize that struggles between the branches of government for power have been taking place since Washington was president. It will continue, and it is not unique to President Trump, just as it was not unique to President Roosevelt. We encourage lawyers, cities, and people who truly care about the future of our country to join together to discuss and analyze these issues. Thank you for watching our video, and don't forget to review entire article at hudson.org.